YouTube, what they do. I missed it. I'm not gonna lie. I've just been procrastinating. Like this video should have came out like a week ago, but your boy got sick. A life be happening, and I just be preoccupied. Anyway, it's not an excuse. I think I've told you that like 700 times. Anyway, today's video is gonna be about weightlifting versus calisthenics. Unfortunately, I don't have as many videos as calisthenics as I thought I did. So you're primarily just gonna see me working out typically like how I do. I guess this is my opinion. Because there's some people that like I'll be like, oh, like I know one person. He goes to the gym just to do calisthenics, and don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with that, especially because like if you live where I live, it's pretty cold. And I don't expect you to do a muscle up or a pull up outside. So obviously, it's fine. Do what you want to do. But like I feel like people might have this like massive disservice to be like there's one better than the other. Like ideally, if I had to pick, like let's say you put a gun to my head, God forbid this happens. But let's say you put a gun to my head and you're like, George, you have to pick one and you have to stick for it for the rest of my life. It completely depends on your goals. Like if you just want to be generally healthy, you're not competing, you're not doing anything else, and you still want to be nimble. Bodybuilders can still be nimble, by the way. But let's say you wanted to like not gain so much muscle, you wanted to like be this decent, right? Like let's say Chris O'Hearn. I don't even think I'm saying his last name right, but he's a perfect example. I think he does primarily calisthenics. I used to watch him back in like 2020, so I don't know what he does nowadays. But so compared to like someone like Larry Wheels, I think most people who are watching this would know who Larry Wheels is. He primarily did bodybuilding and powerlifting, right? So completely two different ventures of like what's it called type of training. Now, if you're like me, you're gonna pick both, cause why would you only use one without getting the benefits of both? They correlate with each other very well. It's like gas and cars, eggs and bread, or pancakes and syrup. These analogies, I'm hungry, which is why I made those analogies. But my point is, like, why'd you only take one without having the service of another? Now, of course, all each have their own benefits. Like for example, calisthenics, you're more flexible in a sense. It has a lot easier, more carryover. Like I know most guys started in their room, starting doing push-ups, sit-ups, or like if you went to a park, you could do dips, like as you're gonna see in this clip right now. So I know most people they started like that. So of course, I'm not gonna say, oh, there's one that's necessarily better than the other. But if you wanted my honest opinion, I feel like there's no reason not to do both. If you have the ability to do both, I don't care what gym you go to. It could be the most Planet Fitness, and there's nothing wrong with Planet Fitness. At least nowadays, like Planet Fitness is better than most blunks I see, and that's not a hot take, honestly. So, at least in my opinion, if you had to pick one, I think calisthenics is a lot easier to get in. But at the end of the day, it really depends on what your end goal is. Like if you wanted to, let's say for example, if you wanted to, I lost that was a brain fart. I'm leaving that in the video. If you just wanted to get generally stronger overall, I say calisthenics is a good option. But if you just wanted to like build muscle and you wanted to look like, let's say Superman, right? Because most guys want to look like a superhero that I know at least. You'd probably do like weightlifting just because you're more likely to build muscle that way. Not saying you can't build muscle with calisthenics, but you definitely can. But I'm just saying, at least in my experience, that there's no reason to like try to limit yourself to one option when you can have more than one. For example, because like of course one option is good at not to say one option is better than the other, but you know ideally we want to work smarter and not harder. And the best way to do that is to essentially like use the both worlds. So I don't want to say this video was kind of clickbaity, but I did give my opinion. Like let's say you had to pick one, I'd probably like let's say I could go back in time and you said George, you can only do one and you can only do it for the rest of your life. Which one would I pick? I couldn't tell you, honestly. I think I'd have less injuries if I did purely calisthenics. Well, that's not true because I could probably injure my wrist or my shoulder depending on how I do it. But yeah, let's say you only have to pick one. Depending on the day, I might give you a different answer. Like today, as I'm recording this, it's the March 15th. Now, actually, beginning of the month, I might say bodybuilding because, I like looking huge. I like how I look. I like how I feel. And also, I'm natural. So it's not like I'm taking anything to hinder the fact for me, like, still feeling good in my body. Now, there's also another venture into powerlifting, but that could be an own video within itself. Let me know if you guys want me to talk more about that. Hope you have a good one.